Yaffee program on WVNN.
Stock, 770 AM, 92.5 FM, WVNN. This is the Yaffee program. Don't worry, your voice of reason is here. Dale Jackson is still here as well. We're broadcasting live from Sunny Street Cafe here off 72. It's going to be, Dale is here, as I mentioned. I've noticed the crowd got bigger, I think, when my show started. Maybe it's a coincidence because it's more breakfast time, or maybe
they were all sitting in their cars listening to me.
Oh,
yeah,
okay, yeah, sure. Now they're ready to eat. Maybe they thought I was done cooking.
Their chewing will tune you out.
All right, we're actually going to have a bunch of people on, just like we did during Dale's show. We're going to be here till 11 o'clock. Come on by and get some great food, by the way. I am not cooking. Don't worry. If my wife was cooking, then a lot of people would want to be here and check it out. But don't worry. I'm glad that everyone is coming out. So we're going to get started right now with Congressman Barry Moore.
Yaffee, great to be on with you, buddy. Great to be on.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good to talk to you in person. I mean, we talk all the time over the phone, so it's great to be here. Did you have to drive all the way here?
Had to come in this morning. We were down in Mobile, Baldwin County last night, so up here today, and then we'll be working our way back south for the big day tomorrow.
Okay,
I got to get back home.
Campaign.
Yeah, and I got to get home to vote, right? That's pretty important. Everybody needs to vote tomorrow, right? And so, yeah, we've actually got a Tahoe. I've got 70,000 miles on it. It's 15 months old, and that's not counting the time in D.C. here and there in an airplane seat. So we've been on the road, brother.
And how much of that time were you driving the garbage truck?
They don't let me drive a garbage truck much anymore. I might drive one to vote. I did last time just for the heck of it. We had a new roll-off truck come in and Trump, so we had just had a brand new one delivered, and so Heather and I went and voted in a garbage truck. I did jump the curb, Yaffee. I'm a little rusty, but I still got my CDLs.
You didn't run over a mailbox or
no mailboxes. It was just a curb. It was okay. I didn't tear anything up, but yeah, it's been a minute since I drove one, so I'm a little rusty.
Well, we are going to talk about the campaign, of course, but I really do have to ask you about the deal with Iran. I mean, we don't know all the details. Apparently, it's a memorandum of understanding, but Trump made the announcement. The Strait of Hormuz is going to be open, everything like that. So talk about what you think of it so far.
So I'm just excited where we're at in the process. It seemed like a couple of times, we talk about dealing with an apocalyptic regime, and a couple of times we thought we had a deal done, and they didn't come to the table. But I think President Trump was able to rally the allies in the region to get enough pressure on Iran to get them to the table, and that will be a game changer if the deal holds. And I'm cautiously optimistic it will, because I've been saying we need it as Republicans and as a president and the administration to land this plane on Iran before November, start seeing fuel prices come down. That's a win for the country. And again, the president wrote the book, The Art of the Deal. He held a long time. He was pretty tough. But I think on the sanctions of the military force and pulling the allies in the region together, I think he's able to accomplish a remarkable feat. And hope and pray it holds. And we see some good fuel prices and peace in the region.
Let's talk about fuel prices here for a second. We were just talking off the air. You've done a lot of traveling. You put a lot of miles on your truck. And you're doing a lot of stuff out there. You've seen these gas prices go up and down. What are you hearing from people? How much is that impacting people? I got to believe that's a major issue, maybe the number one issue.
It is, and honestly, it's just when you fill up at the pump, it's pain you feel, right? And if Biden literally raided a strategic petroleum reserve before the midterms, and that was for wartime, to lower gas prices to try to get some wins in an election. So we don't have that reserve that Biden used up, and so we're trying to replenish that. At the same time, we're trying to deal with the Strait and Iran. And I think to Dale's point, it does impact people, the bottom line. But inflation is obviously it's a function of government. We print money in D.C. It's been lower it was much lower in Trump's first term. It was high in Biden's, and we brought it back down. But people are not seeing it because of fuel prices. But I think if we get this deal figured out, and the president says the ships are going to start moving. But I understand, too, we could not have a ship sunk in the Strait, because if we had, guys, we'd have lost 6 months production, and that would have been disastrous. So we had to take our time, make sure we had pieces in place to make sure that when the deal was done, Iran, the Navy, the drones couldn't take out some ships. And let's hope and pray it holds, but I think it's good for the country. It's good for the region. It's good for, obviously, the midterms for Republicans if it holds.
I think you're right about that. I mean, if it holds, this is going to be huge. I mean, and hopefully it is. I've been kind of sarcastic about it over the last couple of months about, this one's for real, this one's for real. Yaffee and I were joking on Friday about how maybe they'll sign the deal at the middle of the UFC fight. Maybe
that's what he was.
That would be so
for.
Trumpish, wouldn't it? Just to bring him up on the
That's
stage
what
and
he
have
wanted.
everybody on the stage.
Yeah.
That would be a
maybe
Trump
they might-
move right there.
Right.
Well, and I was gonna say, I think the way you put it was cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
That's really the way to do it, because when you're dealing with the Iranian regime, that's all you can be is cautiously optimistic. You always have to be cautious with them.
Yeah, and they only understand force, right? And I think between the sanctions and the military force, that's the way you get those guys at the table. And look, I think President Trump probably could have cut a bad deal sooner, but I'm glad he held out for the deal he got. I think that's good, and I think for the midterms it's a win. And we'll see. I think you'll start seeing energy come on down. And we're building a refinery here, and we've got access now to Venezuelan oil, so I think you're going to see those prices come on down. It's just a matter of time.
I mean, oil this morning is $74. I mean,
That's amazing.
A month ago it was 101. I mean, so
It's down $25 just in the day, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
$15,
Yeah.
something
And
like
Yaffee,
that.
my son runs our garbage company, and he's always on my neck about fuel prices the last few weeks. Dad, you're killing me. I'm like, dude, we're doing what we can, but that's really
Right.
not totally in my control.
Speaking of garbage, let's transition to some stuff we've seen here recently. You and I talked off the air. We talked on the air about this. When all of this was raised, I said to you, I need some explanation. And you said, here's the explanation. And it's been the same as the public explanation about your veteran status and stuff like that. I'm completely convinced by your honor, integrity, honorable discharge, all that stuff. That answers my question. That's all I need to know. My wife saw the ad that was running yesterday, and it's not from you, but it's from the a super PAC supporting you. And she turned to me and said, who did that? And I said, well, Jared Hudson was questioning his service. And she said, I can't say it on the air. It's Yaffee show. I can't say it. But she basically said,
Believe me, you can't say it during your show either.
She
Just
said,
saying.
what an a-hole. So my wife's a very sweet person. She's from Albertville. She just doesn't really talk like that all the time. But that's what she thought. What are you running into on the trail on that?
So I think it's literally backfiring. And obviously we call them the October surprises in November. They always drop these negative things on candidates, and they're fairly salacious. And if a campaign's trailing, they will go negative often to try to get across the finish line. And I tell you guys the truth, if we hadn't have been in Congress, I don't know that I could have gotten my records to set the record straight. I think that was the play. We literally had to call Alabama National Guard. We had to call the veterans, our Army guys in D.C., to get the records. It took us a week. I mean, because we wanted to make sure we put it out there based on what the record says, not what I say, not what my opponent says. And so, but as I talk to people, and I got a lot of veterans around the state, we know that. And so I think they're starting to see it for what it is, and it's backfiring. And so, again, we just we were glad we had time and were able to grab our records as quickly, but it was a short runway for us. But we were able to
if
get
you're
them out.
arguing, sorry, Yaffee, but if you have an honorable discharge, to try to pretend that person's not a veteran is laughable. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You could read me regs and definitions if you want to, but we live in the real world, and sometimes stuff's on feeling and stuff like that. That doesn't work for me. It sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, I can tell it hit a nerve with Dale. You can tell because he's a veteran. It feels like it really hit a nerve with you as well. When
It
I
did.
see the video, you responding, I mean.
Yeah, it was so stressful. And, to Dale's point, I mean, Dale initially, he was on my neck about Barry needs to speak up about this. He needs to come out because he was questioning it. But to his credit, he waited till he got the records. We got them out there as quick as we could. And the truth shall set you free, brother. And so we just put the truth out there, and I think it's worked out well. It's not anything I've never been attacked on my faith or my service, but I was glad we were able to set the record straight, and I think it's moving the needle for us. And, it's unfortunate it happened, but it forced us to dig up records I hadn't seen in a long, long time.
You've been in politics for a long time, and you've survived a lot. You have. Not going to go through the whole thing again like we always do.
We don't have that much time, Dale.
Okay, but you've been through a lot. People try to take you out multiple times, and and to me, I'm just like, when are people going to learn? Jeff Poore made a good point to me the other day at a talk show in South Alabama, and he said, every single election, Barry Moore does better than he polls. Why is that?
Well, I think there's a level of authenticity about who I am, and it's so refreshing in politics. And look, guys, all I know is to be who I am, and I think people get to know us and they appreciate that because I don't have a canned speech like a stump speech. I don't do that. I just speak from the heart, and that resonates. So as people get to know us, and I think our record too, I mean, so often we're disappointed with people we elect. They say they're going to do stuff and they talk a good game, and then when they go into the fight, the pressure gets to them and they fold. And I think because of our record and the way that we're just authentic to people, they appreciate that. And so I think that's why we outperform. But our record is nothing shy of pretty good. I think we've done a great job protecting liberty, and one of the top conservatives in the delegation, one of the top in the nation. And so that resonates. But true to form, if you're real with people, you're honest with people, you serve people, you'll outperform the polls almost every time.
All right, so you said you don't give a stump speech, so I won't tell you to give a stump speech. Before I let you go, I'll give you that one last opportunity. The runoff is tomorrow. Tell people why they should vote for you.
Everybody needs to vote, number one, Yaffee. But
Yeah.
I think it's rhetoric over record. I think if you look at my record, I've been in D.C. 5.5 years. I've been an ally to the president. The America First agenda I've been a proponent of. And Heritage Action is one of the top conservative groups. They are the gold standard, and they scored all 435 members of Congress about 3 weeks ago. There were 11 in the nation that represent you in D.C. that got a perfect score, and I was one of those guys that got a perfect score.
Yeah, I know your opponent tried to hit you on your Liberty score thing, and people thought it was a great line. I was like, I can't be mad at his conservative record.
Yeah, no. I mean, the Liberty, my number one job is to protect your liberty, and I've got the high score in the delegation, so I'm proud to have had that record. I continue to fight for your liberty, and that'll be the future fight in the U.S. Senate to save this country and protect your liberty.
Congressman Barry Moore running for the U.S. Senate, as everyone knows. Appreciate you coming out. Good luck tomorrow. The runoff is, and like you said, we need to go up and show up and vote because
thank you guys. God bless you.
Also, remember all elections run through the Yaffee program. I mean, look at all these people coming out here just to be on your show.
I was just about to say the crowd got bigger.
I know.
And bigger.
Every election in the state runs through the Yaffee program. All right, there we go.
By the way, coming up next, I will do the Alabama bullet points. There are a lot of stories to talk about from around the state.
Can I go eat?
Well, maybe.
Okay.
I guess,
all right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like you need to eat some more.
Shots fired.
We'll get the Alabama bullet points. John Wall is coming back on later on. I see some other candidates coming on. So we'll talk to all of them, and you can come on by. We're at Sunny Street Cafe off 72 in Madison. So join us. We'll be here till 11 o'clock, and we'll be back in a moment.
The Yaffee Program.
Let's get to those headlines right now, though. We have the Alabama bullet points.
Alabama Bullet Points. Today's headlines from around the Yellowhammer State.
Brought to you by Larry's Pistol and Pawn. Number 4 today, Katie Britt hints at a third reconciliation package. That's right, U.S. Senator Katie Britt, who apparently is a big UFC fan as well, we learned during Dale's show, but suggested on Fox News that Republicans may pursue a third reconciliation package before the November midterms to ensure military funding. Now, in the interview, Britt highlighted the recent passage of Reconciliation 2.0, what they're calling it, which funded ICE and CBP for the remainder of President Trump's term. She also blamed ongoing Democratic obstruction for blocking regular appropriations. She's right about that. She emphasized the need to support the military's recent achievements under Trump, such as actions against groups like Tren de Aragua, and stated that Republicans would use any necessary tool, including another reconciliation bill, to prevent shutdowns and to prioritize national security and secure borders. Unfortunately, that's what they have to do if they want to get stuff passed. Number 3 today, the Attorney General candidates have weighed in on the firing squad executions, on the idea of that. This is after the Supreme Court killed the state's nitrogen hypoxia method. So after the U.S. Supreme Court declined to allow Alabama to execute convicted double murderer Jeffrey Lee by nitrogen hypoxia, which upheld a lower court ruling on that, they said the method violated the Eighth Amendment. So they noted that a firing squad maybe is a good alternative. Be a lot easier, I guess. Now, the state faces challenges in carrying out other death sentences as well. Alabama law currently authorizes only lethal injection, nitrogen hypoxia, and electrocution, which hasn't been used, but apparently does not for firing squads as of yet. So Lee's lawyer shifted from initially seeking nitrogen hypoxia to requesting a firing squad, which was just a way to get out of the execution, as you know. Number 2 today, Tommy Tuberville and Robert Adderhold and Congressman Barry Moore, who just heard on the show talk about it, are praising Trump for the Iran peace deal. So Alabama's Republican federal lawmakers praised President Donald Trump after he announced a complete deal to end hostilities with Iran. Trump stated he would reopen the Strait of Hormuz and lift the naval blockade once the agreement is formally signed in Switzerland. Now, the pact extends the current ceasefire and provides 60 additional days to negotiate Iran's nuclear program and enriched uranium stockpile. So Tommy Tuberville highlighted Trump's deal-making skills and called for getting oil flowing and bringing U.S. troops home. Representative Robert Adderhold emphasized that Iran must fully give up its nuclear program, unlike the Obama-era deal, which just, delayed it, and applauded Trump's leadership along with U.S. forces, and Barry Moore credited Trump with preventing Iran from ever acquiring a nuclear weapon. All right, I put this story at number 1, even though it's probably the least surprising story out of all of these stories. But Tuberville has been confirmed as a GOP nominee for governor. This is after the ALGOP unanimously rejected the residency challenge. So the Alabama Republican Party dismissed a residency challenge against U.S. Senator Tommy Tuberville, officially confirming him as the GOP nominee for governor, and pretty much confirming him as our next governor, period, let's be honest. Now, following a formal hearing in Birmingham, the party's candidate committee ruled that Tuberville met the Alabama Constitution's 7-year continuous residency requirement, citing evidence such as annual Alabama tax returns since 2018, his Auburn home purchase in 2018, and Alabama's driver's license and voter registration from March 2019, and voting records from 2020, 2022, and 2024. The challenge was filed by primary opponent Ken McFeeters, but we all knew that was pretty much not going to go anywhere. So coming up in a couple of minutes, we're going to speak with Emily Jones. She is running for state school board. I've not seen Prince William, by the way. I know he's running too. Where is he? I thought maybe he would show. Where is he? He's been missing, I just have to say. But we'll talk with John Wall as well later on in the show. Any other candidates that want to show up, we'll talk to them throughout the show. Dale is here. And yes, I will give my reaction as well to the Iran deal. I'm not quite as optimistic as some people are. I want to be optimistic. Put it that way. I want to be optimistic, but I need to see more. Let's put it that way. I need to see more. So we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a moment. By the way, the Bullet Points brought to you by Larry's Pistol and Pawn. If you're traveling out to see us at Sunny Street Cafe, while you're out, might as well go to Larry's Pistol and Pawn, do some shopping. Really is one of the best places to shop for Father's Day deals. So if you go to Larry's Pistol and Pawn in Madison off Greenbrier Exit 3, it's by the big Rusty Water Tower, as you know. They have so much to shop for that your dad is really going to love, whether it's a new or used firearm. Maybe he needs to stock up on ammunition, or just take him with you so he can look at Larry's Firearm Collection Museum, that would be a cool gift in and of itself. They have jewelry as well, men's jewelry, watches, all kinds of stuff at Larry's Pistol and Pawn in Madison. So go today, go to the website pistolandpawn.com. And when you do, let them know Yaffee was the one who sent you. All right, we'll be back in a moment on the Yaffee program. Stay with us.
It's the Yaffee program on WVNN.
What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada? Yes, please.
Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/listen and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/listen.
This isn't your average podcast.
We threw like a spontaneous party out of nowhere. It was crazy.
This is Full Send.
Drake weekend in Toronto. That's like, imagine telling me that like 10 years ago. That's yo, you're going to rip with Drake for his album launch release party in Toronto. Like, I'm not passing that up for anything.
Join the party.
She went to Met Gala. He went to the game.
What is the Met Gala?
Ridiculous.
I think it's an excuse to dress up like an idiot and go to a ball.
The Full Send podcast.
Oh, we're ready.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
We're back here on the Yaffee program. News Talk 770 AM, 92.5 FM, WBNN. Yes, I am Alabama's voice of reason, Huntsville's conservative conscious, and I love that Dale's sitting next to me when I say that because it makes him mad.
It does. It hurts my feelings. I'll be honest with you.
Every single time it makes him
implies that
upset.
I'm like somehow an irrational actor, and I don't
Well,
appreciate
you know, what can I say? I mean, that's just how it goes. By the way, we're at Sunny Street Cafe in Madison. It's a radio runoff event. We've already talked to a bunch of candidates. We're going to talk to more. We're going to talk with Emily Jones in a moment.
Did you make a food order yet?
Well, that's what I was going to ask. What did you? I haven't had a chance to do that. What did you order? I saw you ordering.
She came over and I said, I would like an omelet with all the meat that you have.
With all the
meat that you have on it.
No vegetables. I'm guessing not a single vegetable.
I did not say that. She's like, do you need anything else? I'm like, no, that's it. And she's like, started running through all the options. I got fruit and bread and all sorts of other stuff. So I'm looking forward to it.
Are you going to get fruit and bread?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
it's coming.
Just an omelet with me. By the way, we're making Bugsy very upset with this because she's stuck at the studio and is eating apparently like dry
That's
rice.
okay. Austin hasn't done anything today except eat.
Yeah, it's been the opposite.
He's not even listening to the show right now. Look at him. He didn't even look over here. Didn't even look over here.
Yep. Can I say? All right. Right now, joining us as we're broadcasting live from Sunny Street Cafe for our radio runoff is Emily Jones. She is running for state school board. She's also the founder of Moms for Liberty and just working really hard. So thank you for coming on with us.
Yes, thank y'all for having me.
So just talk about real quick why you decided to take this step, run for office, and hopefully get that position at the school board.
Well, I'm kind of questioning why I'm running at the moment. It's been very exhausting 15 months. But no, I have a son in public school. He started in public school really in first grade because of COVID, and that's really what kind of put me on this path of getting involved more politically. I've told people prior to COVID, I was kind of fat, dumb, and happy, not dealing with politics, and life was a whole lot easier then. But with COVID, started realizing what's going on in just our government as a whole and how quickly our rights as parents can be stripped away from us. So my son's school, like everybody else, they masked. And when I tried to push back on that and do the simple thing of saying, hey, I'm a mom. I know what's best for my kid. How about you let me decide? I was told very quickly that, no, look, we do what our local health department tells us. So I realized very quickly that the decisions that need to be made locally are not really being made locally. And that started kind of opening my eyes to a lot of things. And I started asking more and more and more what I felt were simple questions. So the more I learned, the more I realized that we've got to have a parent's voice involved when we're making decisions at a state level. And that's really how I ended up at the state board versus something more local. Is a lot of the decisions that affect local schools are being made at a state level, and we need to make sure that parents' voices are being heard at that level to have local impact.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I was going to ask specifically, what powers do you have at the state school board level to really, let's say there's another pandemic and they try to do the same things. Will you have the authority to be able to combat that at the state school board?
That's a tricky one. They do have the authority. Do they have the backbone is really the question.
Right. Well, that's why you're running, so they do.
Yes, exactly, yes. Throw in the single mom to have the backbone of the group of 8, right? But they do have the authority to pass policy, and that's really when you look at state code, that's what the school board does. They pass policy for all public schools in the state. So in theory, if there were a pandemic, they could pass policy to say each individual school has to make that decision for themselves. And they kind of did that in the beginning. Well, I shouldn't say it that way. They did do that, allow local school districts to make that determination. But they could have said it is up to parents if you mask. They could have done a whole lot more to protect the rights of parents instead of just saying, oh, we're out of it. Whatever your local district does, you have to do.
Speaking with Emily Jones, she is running for state school board, also with Moms for Liberty. When you're traveling around the state campaigning, you mentioned you're exhausted, probably not used to that kind of schedule. What are you hearing from parents specifically? I mean, is their frustration mostly left over from COVID, or what are some of their other frustrations when it comes to public schools?
The one that's shockingly the most common feedback I get are Chromebooks in our classrooms. I mean, I have issues with it because my son's in school and I know what they've got access to. I was slightly hesitant to bring all of that up because I didn't know how it would be perceived. Oh my gosh, parents hate it. Absolutely. They want them gone. They want to protect girls' sports and girls' private spaces, and I'm 100% with them on that. But Chromebook is the thing that gets brought up more than anything. Is really just technology in the classroom.
Well, you're starting to see a lot of school districts starting to do away with it. And they're saying, okay, back to pen and paper. I mean, that's really what it is. What I find interesting about your candidacy is the fact that you've already been through a lot of, just for the nature of the group that you're a part of, Moms for Liberty, and you were in very early in the national movement side of this. I remember, correct me if I'm wrong here, Kirk Cameron.
Yep.
I mean, there was an idea that we can't have Kirk Cameron in our library.
It's outrageous.
I mean, he might get in the way of all the penises inside the books. I mean, that's it was just, sorry, kids. But, I mean, they really tried to make that argument, and you guys pushed back against it.
Yeah.
You've been fighting that fight for a while. What's that like? How is it different than what you're dealing with right now?
What's different is that I got really tough dealing with all of that and learned really quick how to just tune all of that crap out and stay focused on mission. I mean, we got through in the middle of all of that overnight. We never really had dealt with anything like that, and suddenly we're on national news pushing back on all of this. So we learned really quick that you've got to remain focused on what's right, despite all the chaos that's thrown at you. And there's a lot of chaos. I mean, y'all are in the area. Y'all know Huntsville, Madison is a very purple area, very active liberals in the area. So I think, for me personally, I've gotten tougher through all of it and just kind of gotten used to, you're going to get a lot of pushback publicly, but you've got tons of people that come up to you quietly and say, that was great, keep going, stuff like that. So I think it's just kind of helped me personally understand that you can't listen to the loud noises. You've got to really do what's right, regardless of how difficult it is.
Kind of like, the silent majority. So
Yep.
You think that's going to help your campaign overall, sort of that silent majority?
I think so. There's, like I said, there's a lot of people that, for whatever reason, they're not very vocal online. I mean, I can't imagine why, in the middle of everything going on in our state right now, they don't want to put out political statements, but they don't. So they privately message and say stuff about, they're backing me. They want us to continue the Moms for Liberty movement really in our public schools here in the state. So
Emily Jones running for state school board, joining us. If people want to find out about your campaign, how can they do that?
Easiest place is go to Facebook, Emily Jones School Board, District 8. There's also a website, Emily Jones for State Board, but Facebook's much more updated.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming out. There we go. So, you hear a crowd. You hear an applause. No, it's not just a button we're pushing. That's a real applause. That's because we're at Sunny Street Cafe here in Madison. And, Dale, whatever you got smells really good.
I know. I wish you'd stop talking so I could go eat.
I was about to say, how can I make this segment longer so your food gets cold and you don't get to enjoy it as much? By the way, I just have to say that was Emily Jones running for state school board. Where's Prince William? Where's he at? Is he coming?
I saw a story the other day, actually, and it said former producer of the Dale Jackson Show, known as Prince William. And I was like, wow, that is awesome.
I mean, he should run on that. He should run on that.
Okay, so there are people who seem to think that I'm like shadow running his campaign, which is true.
Oh, really?
I shadow run every campaign. Every single person that.
I was like, if that's true, you're doing a terrible job.
Everyone believes that I am just secretly behind the scenes.
That's so fun.
Twiddling my mustache and declaring things to be, which is exactly what's happening.
No, Prince William is awesome. I'm just giving him a hard time because I wanted to actually interview him. I wanted him to actually be here and stuff like that. So
he told me it might come.
Okay.
You know who else told me it might come? Jared Hudson. He might be here as well.
Yeah, Jared Hudson. Yeah, where's he at?
Well, I think something has come up, they said, but he still may come. So.
Okay. Because, you had said you've been teasing that all morning.
I was
he
told.
was going to be here.
I was told. So hopefully we'll see it.
Well, I do know that John Wall is coming later on. By the way, I got the text line open, the Yaffee text line. You like how I just brand everything Yaffee like Trump does?
It's upsetting to me. I've worked so hard to build these things up. And you're just over here tarnishing my brand.
Whatever Trump says, everything is Trump. I just say everything's Yaffee. But you can weigh in 866-494-9866, 866-494-WVNN. By the way, just come out, have some food. Maybe we can talk to you as well. Maybe you have questions for some of the candidates. Come out and get some food and ask us questions. We'll be back in a moment on the Yaffee program.
You're listening to Yaffee on WVNN.
We're back here on the Yaffee program. It's a revolution in common sense here on Newstalk 770 AM, 92.5 FM WVNN. We're at our radio runoff event here at Sunny Street Cafe in Madison. I had never actually been here before, and I'm going to be coming back a lot because I'm just looking at what Dale Jackson is eating, and despite having to watch him eat it, it looks really good.
I've watched you eat.
That's true.
You attack. It's the weirdest thing. Have you ever seen the image of Pete Buttigieg eating the cinnamon roll?
Yeah.
It looks like he's eating like ribs or something. The way he's holding it.
Looks like how I eat wings. Is that?
Yeah. And that's you eating. Only wings. But Buttigieg looks like a psychopath when you learn that it's a cinnamon roll. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Go look it up.
Well,
Google it.
Surprise. I do like food. What can I say? Yeah. And not too surprised there. By the way, since we have a few minutes here, probably a good idea to update the biggest news in the world, maybe the biggest news of the year, which I don't know if we did at all during your show this morning, Dale. Probably.
It was in the 7 things.
Oh, that's true. It was in the 7 things. You're right. We got a potential, and I say potential because I feel like it's still not finalized, even though they're saying it's finalized.
It's the boy who cried wolf situation.
Well, yeah, because he said it so much that we're at this point. Well, not only that, it's a memorandum of understanding is what it's called. A memorandum. It sounds like some kind of corporate thing you get when you're hired somewhere. Here, sign your memorandum of understanding. It's like, okay, I'm supposed to be excited today. I'm supposed to be optimistic about this today. But I don't know if I can be, other than the boy who cried wolf. What's in the deal? I know Trump does this thing where it's kind of like, a deal's been made, we're going to sign it, and then he usually goes, just trust me. Just trust me, it's going to be great, just trust me. And a lot of people do trust Trump. A lot of you in the audience will just say, okay, I trust President. That you're going to keep their end of the bargain. And I need to know that it's going to be more than just...
Like, what are the penalties if they don't?
Exactly. I need to know, okay, because we're hearing money's probably involved, because that's probably the only way you can get Iran to the table outside of just bombing them. I have been for just going back in and bombing them. The only negotiation I really wanted was them negotiating their terms of surrender. That's what I wanted to happen in the end. I wanted us to force the strait open with military force. And I believe the Navy could have done it. I believe our military could have done it. It would have been hard, would have been some sacrifices, but I think it could have been done, and it could have been better in the long term. All of that being said, if there is a good deal, I usually have to give Trump some of the benefit of the doubt because I never thought it was going to be possible to get all of the hostages freed in Gaza. When you had the Gaza war going on between Hamas and Israel, they still had some hostages. Somehow Trump was able to come in and make a deal where all the hostages and all the bodies were brought back. And if you would have asked me a couple of months before that, maybe even a week before that happened, if that was even possible, I would have said never. You're dealing with Hamas. So that's why, at the end of the day, when Trump says, okay, gotta go. Bugs, hear us? Yeah. All right. I think we're back on. Okay, I think we're back on. Sorry, this is what happens when you're broadcasting live from Sunny Street Cafe. You might have thought
Don't say it like that. This is what happens when you're broadcasting live from anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, I was going to say...
Here they go again at the Sunny Street Cafe.
Well, the only reason I brought that up is I was like, people maybe thought we were just pausing because we were eating. We're like, okay, we're just going to take a break and just chow down some food in the middle of the segment. But I do want to give people some of the latest details. So I'm going to get some of this from Fox News, and a lot of this is breaking when you're talking about the deal between Iran and Trump. So President Donald Trump declared that ships are starting to move through the Strait of Hormuz today. Trump made the statement in a post on his Truth Social account saying the vessels are loaded up with oil. He said ships are starting to move, many loaded up with oil, out of the Strait of Hormuz. They are going along the southern...
Some say more oil than ever. No one's ever seen so much oil moving.
Well, it's funny. It's funny. We can't see you, but you did that like in air quotes, too, or using your hands. For some
you
reason,
just wave them around. That's what I'm doing. That's it.
For some reason, in his Truth Social post, he says they're going along the Southern Highway, and he put the highway in quotes. I'm like, why? But anyway, he said they're going along the Southern Highway, which is totally safe, secure, and pristine. There are other areas of travel also. So he's wanting things to move pretty quickly through the strait, which of course he does. That's why oil is down. Actually, I have to look at the latest number. The last time I checked, it was like, $74 for a barrel of oil. So it might even be lower than that. And, I had one economist on recently. I know he's with the Heritage Foundation. And he thought oil prices were going to stay high because there's going to be a demand surge since people are going to try to bring up their strategic reserves. I think it will be a little bit before we get back to gas prices below where it was before the start of the war. But I'm looking at it right now. We're still about $74 a barrel. I knew pretty quickly prices were going to go down. If an actual deal is going to be signed, and if the strait actually opens, I actually think you're going to see it drop pretty quickly. And I know that's what Trump said. He goes, I love inflation because after this is over, you're going to see it go way down. But I think there is some truth to that. I think a lot of it, when you're looking at the oil markets, obviously something really was going on that affects the supply. But you look at the futures market, a lot of it's just panic, right? When they're talking about betting on the future, it's just like, oh, the panic. So you see the prices go up pretty high, and then usually it starts to settle down. And I think that's why we've already seen gas prices go down a little bit, because they've gone kind of back down to earth. So that's where we are on that. But when you're looking at the oil prices right now, I think the futures market, once the panic subsides, there we go. Now, some other details on this. It says President Donald Trump traveled to France for the G7 summit after announcing a deal with Iran, setting up a high-stakes meeting Monday with world leaders over the Middle East, trade, Ukraine, and artificial intelligence. It says President Trump will be joined by Secretary of State Marco Rubio and a U.S. delegation as leaders from France, United Kingdom, Canada, Germany, Italy, Japan, and the European Union gather from Monday through Wednesday as part of the annual meeting. Discussions are expected to focus on trade, artificial intelligence, supply chain resilience, critical minerals, and illegal immigration. So I have to once again say I'm just cautiously optimistic. I have to once again say I want to believe this is a great deal, but until I see something actually in writing, until I see the enriched uranium actually go through, until I see all of that, I am still in wait-and-see mode. It's hard for me to go from quasi-ceasefire, project pause, we were in a weird limbo, to Trump just saying we have a deal, and instead of seeing the details of the deal, I just hear Trump telling me, trust me, Yaffee, trust me. It's just going to be great. Trust me. I trust you, Trump, but I also trust but verify. I also kind of want to see.
Why are you doubting me? Don't ever doubt me.
That's just not enough for me. I'm sorry. All right, so coming up next, we're going to speak with Scott Stadhagen, who is the head of the Alabama Republican Party. This is the Yaffee program, broadcasting live from Sunny Street Cafe, a radio runoff event.
The Yaffee program.
Hey there, I'm Paula Pan. I help people make the smartest money decisions possible. If you don't control your money, it controls you.
Yeah, you're not in control of your finances, and you have to look outside of yourself to live the life that you want. You're not in control. You're like, what is it that you actually want? Money should follow the dreams and goals, because sometimes we make the dream and goal the money, and you've overworked yourself, and you've exceeded what you've needed for the actual thing you want. Sometimes we forget, what's the actual thing you want?
Afford anything. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
The Yaffee program on WVNN.
Welcome back to the Yaffee program. You're on News Talk 770 AM 92.5 FM WVNN. Alabama's voice of reason on location is what's happening right now. Dale Jackson's here as well. We're at a radio runoff event. We're live at Sunny Street Cafe here in Madison and giving away a lot of Yaffee program T-shirts.
I can't imagine. I can't. I don't understand why. I think it's because they don't like the old man Dale logo.
What are you talking? That's the best part, actually. That I thought that was the one thing that was going to get you more T-shirts because it's accurate.
Someone did take some of them actually earlier, but yeah, we got new shirts, and in it they decided to give a white beard Dale instead of the normal Dale face. It was a mistake. It was a printing mistake, but they're fixing it. But now we have Old Man Dale. I like it. I'm going to start calling them my Logan logo.
Yeah, of course you would compare yourself to Wolverine. If you're going to be an old man, you're going to at least be Old Man Wolverine.
I will say this. I saw one of my shirts out in the wild the other day.
Where?
This is a true story. You're going to call BS, but I actually have a picture of it.
Oh, my God. Where?
Dead serious. Under a bridge on the parkway. And it was a homeless person was wearing a Dale Jackson shirt.
You know what that means, though? That means somebody won your shirt.
And lost their job and their life fell apart.
Well, that's even worse. I was just going to say they donated it to a thrift store. They're like, I'm giving this one away. Why do I have
The only place I've ever seen your shirt out in the wild is, when they go over to Africa after a team loses the Super Bowl, they have the Atlanta Falcons.
Bunches of shirts.
Yeah, they're wearing those Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl shirts and Yaffee program shirts. Anyway, we got serious stuff to do, so why don't you do that?
Yeah, so former chairman of the Alabama Republican Party. Now he is a current candidate for lieutenant governor, John Wall.
Before we go any further, let's talk about backfiring. Well, let's talk about the two things that have backfired here. John Wall effectively has turned him being attacked for having a pet raccoon into 2 radio appearances this morning, while everyone else only got 1.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got. That's true. You are
it's
special.
Called skills, guys.
It's great. Good job.
Well, you brought Charlie. We saw that.
We brought Charlie, and we talked about him so much we didn't get to talk about issues. So yeah, I mean, this is great. And by the way, on the shirt, I'm liking the Yaffee polos, guys.
They look good. They look good.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about taking one home with me.
Well,
next lieutenant governor is going to have a Yaffee.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say thinking about it.
Okay, but if you get that, you do have to take a picture of it yourself wearing it in the office.
Yeah, at a press conference.
Yeah.
I want to see you at an official press conference wearing the shirt.
Yaffee shirt. I'll do it. I'm in.
So my first question, really, who paid your raccoon? Was it one of the gambling outfits? They come and get the raccoon to
All right, we need to move.
To turn.
Let's move past the raccoon.
Okay, we're going to move past the raccoon. Okay. Tomorrow is the runoff.
Yes.
How you're feeling? You really outperformed, I think, in the primary compared to the polls, and you feel like that's going to happen again?
No, we were definitely outperformed the polls and outperformed all expectations that Montgomery had. And I think that's important because I think it sent a message from the people of Alabama. In this, I've been saying this the whole time. This campaign is not about me. This race is not about me. It's not about my opponent. This race should be about the people of Alabama, and it should be about the values that we stand for. And I think the people of Alabama sent a clear message. They don't want a career politician. They don't want another Montgomery insider. They want a conservative fighter who's going to go to Montgomery, drain the swamp, fight for our rights and freedoms, and actually put the people of Alabama first again. And that's exactly what I'm going to do if I'm elected tomorrow.
Yeah, and I know I've asked you this before, but I mean, when you're talking to the everyday voter, what are really the big concerns?
Oh yeah, I mean, look, there's so many. We could be here for hours. But first, the economy. I mean, look, I'm the guy who wants to cut taxes. Right? I think it's funny that my opponent in his campaign have been attacking me for the last week for wanting to phase out the state income tax. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to apologize for that. I want to phase out the state income tax. I want to stand for the people of Alabama.
Well, and I hate to cut you off, but their accusation is that you would have no power to do that in the office.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, obviously you couldn't do it alone, but talk about what you would do in the office.
What campaign has ever been – look, President Trump ran on cutting the overtime tax. Well, the president can't do that unilaterally.
Right.
Wes Allen, a week before he attacked me for this, brought out that he wanted to start a whole government department, the government department of transparency or kind of whatever it was. No one said a peep when he brought that out. But the second I talk about actually cutting taxes on hardworking Alabama families, all of a sudden the establishment goes crazy and says, oh, the lieutenant governor can't do that. Well, you know what? But the lieutenant governor can stand for it, and he can fight for it, and that's what I'm going to do. Like, look, no politician can ever do everything he wants. They're not kings. You can't do it. But every campaign is not about saying, this is exactly what I'm going to do. It's about saying the values you believe in, what you're going to fight for.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, Dale, but I feel like Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth probably has talked about cutting taxes.
He's talking about everything, and I continuously ask this question, and that's a good segue into this question. It's like, all right, there's a couple different ways you could look at the lieutenant governor's office. You could be Kay Ivey. or you could be Will Ainsworth. I mean, those are the two options.
Yeah.
And even before Kay Ivey was governor, she was just kind of there. I mean, say what you will. Kay Ivey's always been very nice to me. She doesn't like me anymore if she remembers me at all. But she was sort of just a caretaker, sort of lieutenant governor.
Look, and I think you hit the nail on the head with Will Ainsworth. No one batted an eye when he led the charge to cut the state grocery tax. And I know he did because I was right there with him as the party chairman.
Right.
He called me. He asked me for help with it. And the two of us kind of, were pushing that legislation to cut the grocery tax in half. And that was done. The idea came from the lieutenant governor, and it got across the finish line. And I think that is the type of leadership. The people of Alabama are sick and tired of politicians who say they can't do. They want leaders who actually will fight to make things happen. And that's the type of leadership that I want to bring to the lieutenant governor's office.
Can you take up the mantle, too, to expand I-65?
100%.
I was like, did you have to deal with that coming in today?
Yeah. Look, as a candidate, as I've been going all across the state, 100%. 565, I-65, there is so many infrastructure projects that we can do better for the people of Alabama. And rural infrastructure as well. Look, our roads are falling apart. And I think that's one area where I'm endorsed by President Trump. And I have that backing, and I want to be a good ambassador for the state, to not just make it a priority on the state level. Let's actually get some buy-in from the federal government. I think roads are something where the people of America, the people of Alabama, want good infrastructure. We pay a lot of money in gas tax. Let's actually make sure that we're taking care of our roads. We're not siphoning the money off of the gas tax like we do every year for other projects. Let's make sure that every penny of the gas tax, federal and state, actually goes to roads where it belongs.
Lieutenant Governor candidate John Wall, former chairman of the Alabama Republican Party, also on the Library Service Board. Closing words here, your closing pitch before you have the runoff tomorrow. What is it?
Yeah. Closing pitch. I mean, look, you just brought up the library board. We talked about taxes. We talked about that I'm a conservative fighter, that I'm going to go to Montgomery and fight for the people of the state for their rights and freedoms. I'm also incredibly passionate about better education for our kids. It is time to get the woke garbage out of our schools, return control to local teachers and parents where it belongs, so actually secure the border. Look, Biden brought illegals in all over the nation with jets. If the Democrats won't fund ICE on the federal level, I'm not opposed to the state getting involved, and let's fly illegal immigrants back to where they came from on our own planes. The SAVE Act, I'm sick and tired of Washington politicians bend the knee and not stand up and not fight. But there's no reason that Alabama doesn't lead the charge, and there's no reason we're waiting on the federal government. Let's pass a bill right here in Alabama that says you've got to prove citizenship before you can register to vote. It's common sense. We can get the job done. We don't have to wait on the feds. Let's do it here.
Yeah, and you'll get the support, definitely, from the people of Alabama. John Wall running for lieutenant governor. Really appreciate it, as always.
Oh, hey, look, good to be on the show. Good to be here in person. I'm actually looking at the two of you. It's a little scary. I like you guys better on the phone.
Okay.
100%. That's true. No question about it. Thank you very much for being here, John Wall.
Good to be on the show.
Appreciate that. He's running for lieutenant governor.
Yeah, and when we get back, we're going to speak with the current Republican Party chairman, Scott Stadhagen.
I hear he's going to tear John Wall apart for his previous job.
Is that what? Oh,
yeah, I think it's going to happen.
Dale's been trying to create a fight all morning. So
I thought we were going to get enough people in here.
All right, so we'll be back in a moment here on the Yaffee program.
It's the Yaffee program on WVNN.
Welcome back to the Yaffee program here on News Talk 770 AM, 92.5 FM, WVNN. Doing my part to make radio great again. And that's what the T-shirt says, and a bunch of people want them. We have one, by the way. So
actually, that shirt's running out. That's an old one. We're running out of those. I think that might be one of the last ones that we have.
So
if you want any more of them, I heard that they're under the bridges on Memorial Parkway.
No, that was your shirt.
It was my shirt, actually.
That was your shirt.
There was a guy under the bridge wearing a Dale Jackson shirt. That's
How
true.
that happened?
I have absolutely no idea. No idea.
How in the world that happened? All right, so we're talking to a bunch of the candidates. We're at a radio runoff event. The runoff election is tomorrow. We're at Sunny Street Cafe here in Madison.
I mean, the runoff is not here. You said the runoff is tomorrow here. Do not come here for the runoff tomorrow.
Oh, no. I don't want to be arrested like you were.
Yeah, no kidding. Everyone knows that's on Wednesday. Come on. What are we doing?
So we're at Sunny Street Cafe talking to some of the candidates. And right now we're talking with Alabama Republican Party Chairman Scott Stadhagen. It's funny. I told you thanks for coming. And and you said this is much better than what you had to do yesterday. So talk about what you had to do yesterday. It was pretty big in the news, even though it was the least surprising thing that I think that's happened in the news recently.
Yeah, absolutely. But first, thank you guys for allowing me to be here. This is a great idea. I think when people are in here eating, they're looking to see. I got Dale Jackson, I got Yaffee. What's going on in there? And then you got all these guys in suits coming in. So great idea for this, especially for Republicans to get excited about what's coming up ahead for tomorrow's election.
Do you know how this came to be?
I do not. Tell me.
The Limestone County Democrat chairman, Chris Love, invited us to broadcast from his headquarters. And I said, okay, if we're going to do that, we're going to broadcast. We'll find a Republican group and do something with them. Within 24 hours of them announcing that they were going to let us come to the Limestone County chair, we got canceled. And they canceled their own chair. They canceled us. They canceled themselves, really, because we still did radio show.
He threatened to resign over it.
It was crazy. But that's, and so we reached out to the Madison County Republican Party, and they said, yeah, sure, come out. So that's how it all came to be. So again, I think we should do more of these across the state. So.
I agree 100%. So yesterday, big day for the state of Alabama. A little stressful. It's something that we took extremely serious.
Did you?
100%.
Okay,
100%.
I'm not saying anything about you. Like you guys didn't take it seriously. But I just thought to myself, was it serious ever?
It really was.
Okay, all right. Tell me.
I'll tell you this: I didn't talk to the media for the week before. I didn't want, and we went in to look at the facts, look at like a blank sheet of paper. I did not want to be influenced by who is Republican nominee or who lost, and I wanted to look at the facts and make sure we did what was right for the state of Alabama.
And just to remind people what we're talking about, this was the residency challenge.
Yeah, McPheeters contested the nomination certification of Coach being our nominee for governor. And it took place downtown Birmingham. You know what's crazy about this? Outside there was a gay pride parade, and Doug Jones was actually speaking at it while we were up there doing this. Is that not nuts?
I mean, crazy. Not surprising, though. Honestly.
Not surprising, but I could hear the music thumping the whole time because I presided over the hearing. So I am not a judge, so I am literally trying to do the best job I can. And the whole time I've got this music popping in the background, and I'm just thinking, I bet you Doug Jones is out there. And sure enough, he was. Sure enough. So I will say real quick, they had 45 minutes apiece to present their evidence. And McPheeters, they took the whole 45 with Coach on the stand. And they brought nothing to the table, absolutely nothing. Coach's attorney came, showed, solid evidence and proof that Coach has been a resident for 7 years. They didn't even take, I think, maybe 15, 20 minutes of their 45 minutes. He kind of looked at us and was like, I don't need to say any more, and so 100%
Sounds
Coach.
like just a PR stunt then than an actual legitimate concern.
And at the end of the day, I was prepared to go either way. I actually was. I'm going to always stand on what's right and do what's right, especially for the state of Alabama, because if we don't, it'll backfire on us. If you don't do what's right, the walls of the Republican Party will come crumbling down, and that is not going to be on my watch.
So let's talk about on your watch. What are you going to do to get more people to show up? I mean, one of the things that's been kind of disappointed this year is the turnout for the primary was pretty low. They're worried about the runoff even being lower, but Democrats are showing up. A lot of the energy is because Trump's the president and everything else. I mean, what are we going to do to make sure they show up?
Yeah, so it's going to be different going to the general. The governor's race normally fires people up and it's competitive, right? Well, this one, it's not competitive. And I think that was one of the reasons in the primary. But, my message is if you want Bobby, who identifies as Susie, going into the bathroom with your daughter at Target, don't worry about going out and vote. If you're okay with that, don't worry about it. You just stay at home and don't get out and vote. But if that upsets you and you don't like that, get your tail out, rally up the troops, and let's go to the polls. Because that is what they stand for, and that's what they're about, and that's what we're facing in our society. And it's across the board with a lot of stuff. And, if you don't like it, do something about it, right? And that's going to be my message. I'm literally touring the state like a statewide candidate. I've heard Jim Ziegler's daggum speech so many times and Jared Hudson so many times I can recite it. It's serious. But I think that is the message for us to make complacency will lose every time.
So it's interesting, too, because, Doug Jones is out there. You mentioned him. Mm-hmm. He said Alabama has officially rejoined the Confederacy. which, you were at the special session. I don't believe that came up during the special session. There wasn't a secession bill that came up. But no, seriously, one thing he said that I found interesting, he's like, we're going to bring Alabama back when it comes to education and all these issues. And I was like, Democrats were in control of state politics in Alabama for decades. And
136 years up until 2010.
Yeah, I mean, Alabama was at the bottom of a lot of those things. Republicans take control. We've seen some gains, especially in education. So I hear Doug Jones say, "Oh, we're gonna fix Alabama. Democrats are gonna take control." I'm like, you guys had your opportunity for years and did nothing. Why should we trust you now? What do you think?
Yeah, I have a couple comebacks to that. But one, where's Doug Jones been since he left office? Where has he been, right? What has he done for our state since he cares so much?
Yeah,
He's been tweeting.
He's been tweeting. He has done absolutely nothing, but yet he wants to jump back in the spotlight like he's a United States Senator from yesterday, but there's a time frame in between that he has done absolutely nothing. That's not the way you move the needle forward. If you truly have a passion for our state and you truly want to make a difference, you don't need a title in front of your name to do so, right? You bust your tail and do everything you can to make our state better. But also the special session, and they used that to get their votes out. Absolutely, they did. The only thing racist about that whole situation was that 3-judge panel who based our district lines on race.
Right.
That's racism.
I know, and they called you guys racist, and they said their map was race
Isn't
neutral.
that crazy?
I mean, bizarro world.
When you get the judiciary system doing the legislative job, we went through the process. We had committees, House floor, committee, Senate floor. The governor signed it. It went through the legislative process, and it passed. And that was what the legislature presented, and they struck it down.
7-0?
So, yeah.
I mean, are we going 7-0 next?
I'm going to do everything I can. I think Coach in office.
I was about to say Tuberville said he wants
I think things are going to be a little different. I'm so excited.
You're going to have a very strong chief executive in the state.
I cannot wait.
He's going to be out there pushing more than you've ever seen before. And some people will argue that's a good thing. Some will argue it's a bad thing.
It's like a Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Yeah,
you know,
which do you want?
Some energy.
Which would you want that situation?
Well, you know my answer to that.
Well, on my show, not the voice of reason, but on my show, this always comes up because every single one of those articles that they've been writing recently about Tommy Tuberville, they reference that I asked him where his driver's license was. Did that come up in the hearing? Did my name come up? Did I come up?
Your name did not.
Oh, come on. This is outrageous.
Where are we going with this? Oh,
So,
back to his.
I will say this, Dale. If I wasn't
30
releasing
seconds.
the transcripts for transparency, I would say it did.
Okay,
But
that's fine.
You'd bust me in a lie. I'm not going to do that. But
I would have just accepted that.
I will say I saw a copy of his driver's license.
Okay.
I don't
7
care about
years.
it.
He's
That
good.
issue's
Yeah.
resolved, in my
Well,
opinion.
Scott Stahagen, he is the chairman of the Alabama Republican Party, joining us, trying to get the vote out.
Let's get out and vote. Let's get
Yeah.
out and vote.
All right, we'll be back in a moment on the Yaffee program, broadcasting live from Sunny Street Cafe, our radio runoff event. I'm here, and of course, Dale Jackson is here as well.
Oh, yeah.
You're listening to Yaffee on WVNN.
Hey there, I'm Paula Pan. How do I save money? Most people give you the cliche answer, stop buying avocado toast. But they're missing the point. Saving tactics usually focus on discretionary spending. If you want to actually move the needle, you have to look at your fixed costs, your rent, your mortgage, your car payment. To change these, you might have to move or sell your car, and that's why people don't do it. If you want small wins, focus on the avocado toast. But if you want meaningful change, focus on the fixed costs. Afford anything. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
We're back here on the Yaffee program. News Talk 770 AM, 92.5 FM, WVNN. Yes, Austin, you can pick up the mic, too. You can talk.
Yes, thank you.
Can we talk
thank
about
you.
Yaffee chase everyone out of here?
It's winding down after the star-studded cast.
That's a yes. That's a long answer to say yes.
Yeah, a little bit.
So there we go. There we go.
All right. So since we don't have any guests on right now, I should just let you talk so I can eat breakfast.
No, that's
what I
true.
should do. No,
Nope.
I really do want to ask, actually, both of you, what do you think of this Iran deal? You know, I said I was cautiously optimistic. That's what Congressman Barry Moore said. It's because we're dealing with Iran, but I usually have to give Trump somewhat of the benefit of the doubt because of deals he's been able to make in the past. It's hard for me to get excited about something called the Memorandum of understanding.
With the Republic of Iran.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right.
So I think it's like this. And I told you guys this before. This idea that they were going to be able to just like wait them out and talk to them, I don't think was ever going to happen. I think the last round of bombings
was just enough to push them over the edge.
Right. I think they were already close, but I think that's it. And I think what they're going to end up doing is Iran, and this is where the criticism is going to come in. Iran's going to get some money out of this. They're going to have the ability to sell oil and stuff like this if they want to become good international neighbors. And the criticism will be, you've given them money. To which my response will be, pallets of cash, shut your mouth.
Yeah. Well, the Democrats have no credibility.
Well, I agree with that. But that argument's going to have to be made of pallets of money that you knew was going to go to terrorists. They acknowledge it. They're like, oh, yeah, some of that money's going to work its way into terrorists and kill kids and buses in Israel.
I mean, you can make an argument that October 7th doesn't happen without that deal.
Of course,
of the money
of course. Absolutely.
Terrorist power.
Absolutely. There's a reason why that stuff all happens after Trump leaves office and not before.
And also, correct me, are we going to be giving them money as part of this deal? I think I saw that circulated, but
there's some suggestion that there will be some money exchanging hands for rebuilding.
Okay, that was my fear, that if it's rebuilding, it's like every time we decide to give someone in the Middle East a whole lot of money
to rebuild,
it does not go well.
Correct.
It's
correct.
a huge waste.
And then it becomes, so that is the argument that will get made. And the question has to become, are we talking about rebuilding nuclear plants, or are we talking about like building water pipes, or are we talking about building rockets to hit Israel? I mean, and they have to stay on top of it, and there has to be some sort of mechanism to check.
Well, yeah, and that there has to be conditions. It's kind of like when a lot of people blame Trump for the withdrawal from Afghanistan, saying, well, Trump wanted to do that anyway. But what Trump wanted to do was he had conditions. Like if they were starting to break part of the deal with the withdrawal, then the U.S. Bugsy, can you hear me? Oh, okay. I was about to say you said lost you. Like we're back here. I know we're broadcasting live, and anytime you broadcast live, things can happen. But we're here at Sunny Street Cafe. We're doing our radio runoff event. We've talked to throughout Dale's show and my show most of the candidates. One suspiciously missing, by the way.
Why are you
Jared
forcing
Hudson?
me to do it? I mean, what are we doing here? I don't know why. He was invited. He was invited. I was told he was coming. If you'd have asked me on Friday if he was, I would have said no. I mean, I mean, I've been doing this long enough to know that. Here's the thing. If you're him, would you? I mean, just think about it. Would you? And the obvious answer to that is no. We all want to be like, oh, we're badasses and we would totally do that and all this other stuff. But if that was the case, you would have just handled the question when it was first asked, and the little dust up wouldn't have mattered.
It would have been a cool comeback, though. I would have been excited for him to come in, you guys.
Well, I wasn't going to do it again.
WWE action, you guys.
But I wasn't going to do it again. I wasn't going to do it again.
That's true,
if he comes here right now, I'm not going to do that again. I've already had my say on that. He's made.
Yeah. So if you're listening, Jared, come on in.
No, that's
be
fine.
Friendly.
I got no problem with that.
If you're outside waiting,
again, I want to make it as clear as I possibly can on this. And I think you had said earlier, maybe it was you or somebody else had mentioned this. I'm sorry, I'm pointing at Austin on the radio.
Pointing at me.
But you had said earlier that like when you search his name, like the first thing that pops up is this.
Yes, because I looked him up because I was like, what are his policies? Like, how much different is he from the other candidate? And yeah, it's 1819 News, some story by them, and a few other stories about you two come up. So,
right. Well, because that's the hot thing right now. Like,
it is. Yeah,
lots of downloads on the podcast and all this other stuff have come up, and it's a salacious thing. Like it's like, hey, this attack is happening, and then someone turns to him and says, "Do you believe this attack?" And they go, "Oh." I mean, it's just like you can't like you're. I've been attacked all weekend by surrogates, as he wanted to use that. He called me a surrogate for Barrymore, which I am not a surrogate. I have opinions and I voice them. But
you didn't even vote for him in the primary.
I know. It doesn't make
Marshall.
any sense. Which again, I was the perfect person to be on the side that I was on this issue. There's not another talk show host or media outlet in this state that has the background I have that is as outspoken as I am, that will fight people like I do, will do anything. I'm in the perfect position to be in that. And so that felt right in my lap. But the point is, in that is, you can't bullshit. I'm sorry, you can't be. Sorry, I forgot where we were. You can't BS me on this kind of stuff because I have that background, and I'm willing to do that. So, Jeff Poor asked him the exact same question, and in Jeff Poor style, which is different. I'm not bad. Yaffee wouldn't have done what I did. Yeah, you wouldn't have done that. Yaffee would have asked one question, and he would have been like, "Okay," and then you would have moved on.
Probably.
Right.
I don't know. It's really annoying though. He wouldn't answer.
But it's not. That's not a criticism. It's just it's a stylistic question. Okay. It's like saying, okay, we got two fighters here. One likes to throw uppercuts, and the other likes to throw jabs. I mean, it's not necessarily one is better than the other, except I am better all the way around. But the point is, there's nothing wrong with doing it in any other way. But we had already had that dust up, so the likelihood of him coming in here thinking that a second one's going to happen, unless he has a better answer, is very unlikely.
Yeah, I was hoping maybe.
And then how does he change his answer? Sorry, but how does he change his answer completely?
I don't think, unless he just admits.
Yeah, you got me. Have you ever seen a politician do that? No, you got me.
Yeah, I don't know.
My bad.
So you think this actually backfired on him? This whole attack on Barry Moore?
Oh, absolutely. I told the story.
Too.
I'll tell the story again, and I'll try to keep the language clean. But that ad came up on television last night. The one that the American whatever group is the pro Moore PAC is running, and it's basically like they lied about his record. It's got Barry Moore. It's like showing his ID and all this other stuff. It's a pro Moore ad, and why is Jared Hudson whatever? And it's like one of those ads. And my wife goes, "He did what?" And I told her, because my wife apparently doesn't pay attention to anything I do, and I
like she's not aware.
I told her, well, I don't. Yeah, look, I don't go to the house and be like, "What kind of pie did you bake today?" Okay, I don't know. I don't do that. So, but I'm kidding. My wife is an engineer.
I was about to say, you should ask her what kind of helicopter did you build.
Yeah. She's got an engineering degree from Auburn and an MBA from Alabama. Okay, so I'm joking, but it's not like something we're going to talk about. And she saw the ad. She asked me about it, and she said, "What an a-hole!" Like that was her response. Like she's gone from being like, this is like, how should I vote? Like essentially, not those exact words, but she'll talk to me about it like tomorrow.
Yeah, she wants your opinion on it for
tomorrow,
obvious reasons.
To who's that prick? I mean, and before you drive down the Parkway with her, and she'd be like, "Oh, look at that good-looking guy!" Like is that? I mean, that's how
he looks cool in the advertisement.
Oh my God, he's a legit badass. Which is why when it appears you're being punked out by a 220-pound, 5'9" guy, that it pierces.
Right, you want to go through that again.
Right. Well, it pierces the balloon too.
Right.
I mean, it just pierces it just a little bit, and again, not my intention.
I mean, it seems like so unnecessary on his part, but I mean, what else did he really have to gain momentum? I think it was always kind of a long shot to begin with.
Hey, you know this thing you're building your entire campaign on? Do you believe it? That's it. That's the question. I mean,
and he put himself in a trap, though, because you're right. Once he says that, now he really is the guy who is claiming that a veteran isn't a veteran.
Right.
And that.
Well, you do understand that DOD Reg 272-64976 says, and it's like, okay, but he joined.
Well,
went to basic training.
Average voter. If you ask the average.
He got an honorable discharge. He has the GI Bill. What? You're telling me that guy's not a veteran?
I just think if you ask the average voter, is someone in the National Guard a veteran? They're going to say yes.
Yeah.
I mean, no doubt about it.
Under
if they're a veteran or not.
It's
not controversial.
But here's the thing. Under the official regs, you could serve in the National Guard for 13 years, go to every single drill, every 2-week training period, never miss a single one, and technically you're not a veteran. Does anyone believe that? Like in the real world?
Oh, when you say technically, I mean, what do you mean by
regs? He's right that you're not a veteran.
Is that what he meant? Was he meant like regulation, or was he talking almost like kind of?
God, you guys, go read my Facebook page. Every other comment is by this code, he's not a veteran, and that's the thing. Not the common colloquialism or any of that stuff or what we all think and whatever. It's laughable on its face. And if you're explaining it like this, it's like, okay, like you're like, why are we doing it this way?
Yeah, I didn't know it was a code thing. I was thinking it was he hasn't seen combat type of argument.
Well, it was also that. He said he put on combat boots. He did. I mean, when you go to the basic training, you put on combat boots. And listen, when someone says like, and Yaffee, you probably heard this a lot. Your mama wears combat boots. Like when people say that, they don't mean that they think she's in war. They think that she's manly and wears combat boots.
Expression.
Right. It means the boots are combat boots.
Right.
I mean that's what it means. And so when I was in basic training, and I never got deployed to anywhere except Thailand for like 40 days or something, but it's not the same thing. But I wore combat boots the whole time. I mean, they were up on top of a cooler. I was playing Mario Kart, but I was wearing boots. I mean, that's the truth. That's the truth.
Every time you say that, I just have this image of my head of you.
It's exactly the truth, though. That's what I did. I mean, I didn't go and deploy to the desert. I went to Thailand, and I stayed in a hotel. And when I went to work, I was just monitoring my equipment, and I was playing Mario Kart on a 13-inch TV. That's what we did.
It just really seems like, too, that Hudson was really stretching to try to make this argument.
It's the end of the race. Because
he knows he's
a Hail
Mary.
Mary. It's a Hail Mary. It's a Hail Mary. And people need to know this about Hail Marys. Think about this. Austin, you won't understand this because football is a sport.
Yes.
Okay. But
maybe you talk about ballet.
They throw it really far at the end, and that's a Hail Mary.
Thank
right?
you. You got it. But how often does a Hail Mary work? I mean, I don't know the exact numbers, but I'm going to guess it's somewhere between 2 and 5%. Okay,
if that.
Right. So how often does that actually work? Very. But imagine if your quarterback, you go out to ask him, and you go, "Okay, we're going to throw a Hail Mary. Do you think you can do it?" And he goes, "No," because that's what's happened here. Like right before they hiked the football, he's like, "This isn't going to work," and that's essentially what happened.
Well, we only have 10 minutes left of the show. Maybe he shows up.
Maybe
awesome. He shows up.
That would be.
We'll have this conversation.
That would be right in my face. That would be
awesome.
more
Right at the end.
He just shows up right at the end. So we'll talk more about that. We are broadcasting live from Sunny Street Cafe. I can't wait to actually get some food as well because it smells really good. It's our radio runoff event. The runoff election is tomorrow.
Where is everybody? Oh, they left because my show's over.
Yeah, I guess so. Thanks for that. We'll be back in a moment on the Yaffee program. Stay with us.
The Yaffee program.
We're back here on the Yaffee program. News Talk 770 AM, 92.5 FM.
Yaffee, everyone says that they're at work.
Oh, yes.
They said they're all at work.
What?
Everyone says they're at work. That's why they're not here.
Well, yeah, my audience works. That's what my audience does. They work for a living. Your audience is homeless.
It's so funny. Like, this is actually, we've had this conversation like 10 times now when we've done stuff like this because it always goes this way. Because
it's
they're
just
exactly
the natural
right.
Right,
no, it's exactly right. But I'm going to pretend I don't understand it every time. I'm like, what's happening here, Yaffee? Oh,
yes, we.
Hey,
all
Austin, go take
that.
a picture of this crowd. All right.
Yeah, well, like I said, just take a picture of the homeless guy wearing Dale Jackson's T-shirt. That's his audience. My audience is at work.
I'm a man of the people. Whether they're at the tip top like me or down in the gutter like Yaffee. All the way in between. Everywhere in between.
I'm a man of the working people.
That's right. That's good. That's good. Sorry, go ahead.
All right. Well, I guess to just recap, I'm trying to think of all the candidates we talked to. We talked, not just during my show, but your show. We talked to Wes Allen.
Catherine Robertson.
Governor, Catherine Robertson. That's the first time I met her in person.
She's awesome. She is awesome. Gene Rosardi. John Allen.
We talked to Steve Schmidt, who is still here.
Steve Schmidt was here, too. He's the chair of the Madison County Republican
Emily
Party.
Jones.
Emily Jones. Tiffany Knoll. John Wall.
Yeah, John Wall. Barry Moore.
Wes Allen. Barry, just a congressman. South Alabama congressman.
That is not what I said.
Just a guy I love him. Whatever.
I don't know why I just, in my head, have to say congressman. I think it's because one of the first times I did a show, when I got hired here, I called Andrew Sorrell, who at the time was the state representative. I called him Andy or something. I was like, hey, Andy, welcome to the show. And Dale never forgave me for that.
Now, maybe you'll relate to this, actually, Yaffee. I've been calling them Mr. and then their last name, but I didn't know if I was supposed to use their honorifics, congressman, senator.
I mean, you're supposed.
Yaffee used to call Mo Brooks Mo.
Actually, I still do.
All right,
that's
only
because he
bad.
told
Okay,
me.
I'm not stupid that low.
What kills me about this is like Mo Brooks officiated my wedding, and I still call him Congressman Brooks, and this guy's over here like, "Yo, Mo, come on, what are you doing?"
He told me to. Well, in fairness, though, he calls me Mike, and it drives.
Aaron Thomas was here. He's running for State House District 20. Emily Jones.
I talked.
Scott Sayhagen, the congressman, was here. We had a good run, Yaffee. A good run.
So should we do predictions of who's going to win, or should we do that tomorrow?
We can do both. We'll do both.
Okay.
Hey, how about this? We do it here, and then we'll do it tomorrow on my show where people will hear it.
Hey, at least I gave away some T-shirts. Okay?
Yeah, okay, that's true. We are out officially of T-shirts, I think, for good. I think we are officially out of T-shirts. Now
we have the polos.
Now we've got old man Dale Logan face polos. That's what it is.
And like I said, you keep saying it was a mistake. I feel like they actually got it right. It was a correction because that's what you look like.
It's rough, man. Just
I can't.
They couldn't get the salt and pepper, which might be complimentary in a way.
Honestly,
aged, but refined.
I can't say anything because look at my beard.
Right.
It's gotten pretty great too.
That's
my
true.
hair's,
Actually, it's more gray. Yeah.
But that angry red face was 100% accurate when it first came out. I mean, it was 100% accurate when it first came out. The Dale face.
Is it weird? I almost want to shave my beard because it's so gray.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Is it?
No, it adds to the wise look. I think it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to tell you this.
You have to see my fat face if I shave.
Well, it covers your quadruple chin.
What? Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, all right. So let's start at the top. We'll go through some of them. So what's on the ballot tomorrow? We got lieutenant governor's race.
Lieutenant governor's race. I'll go first. John Wall wins.
I think John Wall wins, but Wes Allen has had my vote from the beginning, and I don't foresee any reason to change it at this point in time. But I do think John Wall wins. So
and the Trump endorsement's the big one. But
I think that's it.
I also think he's a good campaigner.
Well, the Trump endorsement is huge. Yeah. It's going to loom large.
Came with a lot of money too.
Yes, that's
you
right.
see it everywhere with his little placard signs in the yard. Trump and him are like hanging out. It's like
they're buddies.
He's really milking that. So which is a good idea, obviously.
Come on. And then there's then there's the Attorney General's race. This one's been really overheated, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because Katherine Robinson won the primary by a pretty substantial margin.
Jay Mitchell, his problem is always going to be twofold. One, he quit the Supreme Court race. He could have had that for life, the Supreme Court seat. And two, the IVF thing.
He's always going to be tied to that decision.
Yeah. The IVF thing, I think, is
and
pretty.
I understand his reason.
He's right.
And all that, but yeah,
he was right on the IVF decision.
But it's just easy.
But the fallout of it was not good for him. So I'm Katherine Robertson.
I also think her working with Steve Marshall, who is a very popular attorney general.
Right. I mean, my wife said keep her into her as the right hand man. I'm like, am I supposed to say right hand woman? I mean, what am I supposed right hand person? I'm like,
right.
I mean,
Sorry.
But the saying is right hand man, and she's been his right hand man.
I guess you would say right hand woman, but that sounds.
We just say right.
That's not good.
Yeah, she's not going to argue on that because she's cool.
All right, so I tend to agree. I think she's going to win.
Okay, you notice Yaffee's not telling you who he'd vote for. He's taking the coward's way out. But let's
guessing on the win. Okay, I didn't even notice that.
Yes. Even if I think the person I'm not voting for is going to win, I'll say it. The Barrymore Jared Hudson race. Kalshi today doubled the odds to 20%. Okay, so just great.
So you think
I don't think
double
it's as close.
is good?
I don't think it's as close as people think it is.
No.
Jeff Moore told me 10 points, 55-44. I think it's bigger than that.
Yeah, I
Barrymore wins 60-40.
Do we miss any other big races?
Those are the ones people are paying attention to. Oh, what about the ag commissioner? Yaffee, are you watching the clock? Because I'm not.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say the music just started playing. So,
Yaffee, someone wants to know if they're homeless now because they listen to me.
Yeah.
The T-shirt is a gateway drug.
I think
you might.
I think
be
his wife kicked him out of his house because I was sick of hearing Dale's voice.
Yes.
All right, appreciate you listening. The Vince Show is coming up next. We'll be back tomorrow, same time. See you then.
It's the Yaffee Program on WVNN.
One Night with Steiny.
One Night with Steiny. Shout out Full Send Nelk. This is just about me being myself. Gonna be chaotic. I can't guarantee anything. All I can guarantee is that you're gonna be entertained. How can I join an OVO?
You can keep DMing Drake or keep paying.
By the way, I like OVO.
How do you know that I do that?
I know you DM Drake all the time. I know.
How do you know that?
You paid me $3,000 on Venmo one time to text him for you.
Dude.
One Night with Steiny.
One Night with Steiny, baby. Let's go.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform. One Night with Steiny.
One Night with Steiny. Shout out, Full Send now.
Hey, bro, what's your name, bro?
Steiny. What the hell? We've been sitting here for like an hour together.
I don't know your name. What's your name, bro?
Steiny. I can't guarantee anything. All I can guarantee is that you're going to be entertained. I'm a professional. I'm here to interview.
So the whole interview, you can ask me what I like better, Burger King or McDonald's.
All right, and we are going to wrap up on that note. Thank you, Steve, so much. That was amazing.
Burger King.
One Night with Steiny. One Night with Steiny, baby. Let's go.
One Night with Steiny. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.